What happens when one of China's most beloved leading men publicly snubs a powerful entertainment agency in front of hundreds of cameras and thousands of spectators? The answer sent shockwaves through the Chinese entertainment industry last night, when actor and singer Liu Yuning deliberately refused to shake hands with representatives from Zhao Lusi's management company during one of the year's most prestigious award ceremonies in Beijing. The incident, which lasted mere seconds but will likely reverberate for months, has ignited a firestorm of speculation about what truly lies behind the closed doors of celebrity management contracts and the hidden battles stars face with their own agencies. The moment happened so quickly that many attendees didn't initially register what they had witnessed, but cameras captured every frame of what would become the most talked about incident of the night. As Liu Yuning walked the red carpet at the Golden Phoenix Entertainment Awards, a premier event attended by virtually every major player in Chinese film and television, Zhao Lusi's agency representatives approached him with extended hands and professional smiles. What happened next stunned onlookers. Liu Yuning, dressed impeccably in a tailored black suit, looked directly at the outstretched hands, then deliberately turned his body away and continued walking without acknowledging the gesture. His face remained composed, almost serene, but his message was unmistakable. Within minutes, social media platforms exploded with video clips, screenshots, and heated debates about what could have motivated such a dramatic public rejection. Could this brazen act of defiance signal the beginning of a major uprising against exploitative management practices in Chinese entertainment? Industry insiders who spoke on condition of anonymity revealed that Liu Yuning's shocking gesture wasn't a spontaneous decision or a moment of poor judgment, but rather a carefully calculated statement of solidarity with his frequent co-star Zhao Lusi, who has reportedly been embroiled in an increasingly toxic dispute with her own management company. Sources close to both actors claim that what the public sees as a glamorous partnership between the two stars who have captivated audiences in multiple hit dramas together is actually underscored by a dark reality. Zhao Lusi has allegedly been fighting a quiet but desperate battle for basic control over her own career schedule and personal well-being against an agency that views her primarily as a profit-generating asset. The relationship between Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi has long fascinated fans who have watched their on-screen chemistry translate into what appears to be a genuine off-screen friendship, built on mutual respect and shared experiences navigating the brutal demands of Chinese entertainment stardom. Both actors rose to prominence within a relatively compressed time frame, with Liu Yuning transitioning from his earlier career as a musician and lead singer of the band Modern Brothers to becoming one of the most sought-after actors in period dramas and contemporary series alike. His rugged good looks combined with a vulnerability in his performances have earned him millions of devoted fans across Asia, and increasingly in international markets where Chinese dramas have gained substantial followings. Zhao Lusi's trajectory has been even more meteoric, transforming from a relatively unknown actress to one of the most bankable female leads in Chinese television within just a few years through her roles in romantic comedies and historical dramas that showcase her ability to embody both comedic timing and emotional depth. Their professional collaboration has produced some of the most watched content in recent Chinese television history, with their joint projects consistently breaking viewership records and trending at the top of streaming platforms for weeks after their releases. Fans have long speculated about the nature of their relationship, with some hoping for a real-life romance while others simply appreciating what they describe as a rare example of two stars who genuinely support each other in an industry notorious for cutthroat competition and manufactured rivalries. What neither fans nor casual observers fully understood until recently was that behind the glamorous photoshoots, the carefully coordinated public appearances, and the polished interviews, Zhao Lusi was allegedly fighting an increasingly desperate battle with her own management team over issues ranging from unreasonable scheduling that left her physically and mentally exhausted to contractual terms that gave her virtually no control over the projects she could accept or reject. The specific details of Zhao Lusi's conflict with her agency have been kept largely under wraps through a combination of non-disclosure agreements, the threat of legal action, and the general culture of silence that pervades the Chinese entertainment industry, where speaking out against powerful management companies can effectively end a career overnight. However, information has slowly leaked out through anonymous posts on industry forums, cryptic social media messages from people claiming connections to her team, and carefully worded statements from individuals who have worked with her on various projects. According to these sources, the problems began approximately 18 months ago when Zhao Lusi attempted to negotiate for more reasonable working hours after a period where she was simultaneously filming two major dramas, fulfilling endorsement obligations for over a dozen brands, making appearances at corporate events nearly every weekend, and somehow still expected to maintain an active and engaging social media presence that made her appear fresh, happy, and accessible to fans when she reportedly requested a brief hiatus to recover from exhaustion that had led to her fainting on set twice within a 3-week period. Her agency allegedly responded not with concern but with threats about breach of contract penalties and warnings that stepping back even briefly would allow competing actresses to capture the opportunities and momentum she had worked so hard to build. Friends of the actress have claimed that she was presented with a stark choice: continue at the crushing pace her agency demanded or face potential career sabotage through the agency's extensive industry connections and influence. This kind of coercive management style is unfortunately not unique to Zhao Lusi's situation, as numerous reports and occasional public breakdowns by other celebrities have revealed that Chinese entertainment companies often operate with levels of control over their contracted talent that would be considered unacceptable or even illegal in many other countries. The financial stakes involved in these management contracts are staggering and help explain why agencies fight so viciously to maintain their control over successful actors. When a star reaches the level of popularity that Zhao Lusi has achieved, they become essentially a one-person industry generating revenue through multiple streams including acting salaries, brand endorsements, appearance fees, licensing deals for their image, and various other commercial opportunities. Her agency, whose name has been deliberately omitted from most coverage likely through legal pressure or agreements with media outlets, reportedly takes a percentage of all these earnings under the terms of her contract. Some industry analysts who have examined typical entertainment contracts in China estimate that successful actors might see less than 30% of the total revenue they generate, with the majority going to their agencies, subagents, managers, and various other intermediaries who have positioned themselves as essential to the star's continued success. What makes Zhao Lusi's situation particularly explosive is that unlike some entertainment disputes that primarily revolve around money, her conflict with her agency reportedly centers on more fundamental issues of personal autonomy, health, and safety. Multiple sources have alleged that beyond the exhausting schedule, she has faced pressure to accept roles in projects she felt were poorly written or potentially damaging to her reputation, been forced into endorsement deals with products she had ethical concerns about, and even allegedly faced interference in her personal relationships with friends, family, and potential romantic partners on the grounds that her agency needed to carefully control her public image and couldn't risk scandals or distractions. If even a fraction of these allegations are true, they paint a picture of a young woman whose entire life has been colonized by her professional representation to a degree that extends far beyond normal business management into something approaching comprehensive life control. Liu Yuning's decision to publicly refuse to shake hands with representatives of this agency takes on profound significance when understood within this context. In Chinese business culture, the handshake and the broader concept of giving face or showing respect to others, especially in public settings, is deeply ingrained and considered essential to maintaining professional relationships. To deliberately refuse this gesture is to make an unmistakable statement that goes far beyond personal dislike or momentary tension. By refusing to shake hands with Zhao Lusi's agency representatives at a major public event, Liu Yuning was essentially declaring that he does not recognize their legitimacy, does not respect their treatment of his friend and colleague, and is willing to accept whatever professional consequences might come from making such a bold public statement. The timing of this incident is particularly noteworthy because it occurred at an event where both Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi were nominated for major awards recognizing their performances in separate projects. Zhao Lusi was reportedly scheduled to attend but withdrew at the last minute citing illness, a move that many now interpret as potentially being forced by her agency either as punishment for some internal conflict or as a strategic decision to keep her out of the spotlight while they managed the growing PR crisis around her working conditions. Her absence made Liu Yuning's gesture even more powerful because he was essentially standing up for someone who wasn't even present to witness or acknowledge his support, suggesting that his motivation was purely about principle, rather than seeking any kind of personal recognition or gratitude for his actions. The immediate aftermath of the handshake refusal saw Liu Yuning continue through the event as if nothing unusual had occurred, posing for photographers, speaking briefly with journalists about his nominated performance, and behaving with perfect professionalism throughout the evening. This composure actually made his earlier snub even more impactful because it demonstrated that his action was deliberate and controlled rather than an emotional outburst or moment of poor judgment that he might later regret or walk back. He sat through the awards ceremony, applauded politely when others won in his category, and left the venue without making any public statements about the incident. His silence spoke volumes because it denied the agency representatives or anyone else the opportunity to frame the incident as a misunderstanding or miscommunication that could be smoothed over with explanations or apologies.